Today is officially my prediction show. You guys know how I do this every year. We go over, the predictions I have for the show. Next month it's going to be out, I believe, on the 12th. So, first things first, I'm going to go over all of the studios that Microsoft currently owns, and we're just going to go over whether or not I think some of these studios are going to be here. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about the structure of the show. We'll talk about whether or not I think one game is going to open up. We're going to talk about second and third party stuff. And, I'll give my personal, mic to drop moments. I think that's a pretty solid structure, and I've been doing it, and we're going to do that. So, first off, we're going to talk about 343. 343 made Halo Infinite. I'm sure a lot of you know that. And with the amount of hate that game has been getting, and it's not recently, I do think it's got a lot more positivity, probably in the last month and a half. I do feel like even though it's been getting, ever since Forge released, getting a lot more momentum, these seasons I think has been bringing a lot more people to Halo Infinite. They're going to have to do something big, like a giant expansion, maybe a story expansion. I don't know if Microsoft's going to realistically, fund that. For some reason, I feel like they're just going to coast until they can make another Halo game. But I would expect Halo to be here in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not the main show, maybe the extended show. But I do think Halo is going to be in one of these shows. It just depends on how big the content is. If it's like a story content and they don't abandon the entire Halo Infinite franchise except for multiplayer, then maybe they'll do that. And then it might be both. Maybe we'll get the multiplayer aspect in the showcase, the extended showcase, and we'll get the BR thing that we've been hearing about. We'll get that at the actual show. I don't know. It's interesting. I think 343 is one of those studios that they need something there, and it's one of those incidences where I'm not going to really complain with or without the game being there. I would prefer it not to be there, but I can understand Microsoft wanting to breathe more life into it. The Coalition. The Coalition's interesting. I did go through World's Edge. I don't think Age of Empires is going to be there in any way, shape, or form. Maybe because it's more of a PC game, and I hope they're not there. They might be there. These days, Microsoft has no problem, with these kind of Xbox showcases showing PC games on them, so they might be there. But I think the Coalition, we might get a surprise with Gears of War 6. Maybe some kind of CGI trailer. You guys know how I do things. When it comes to these shows, I give you one trailer that's a CGI. And to me, after that, I got to see gameplay. So when it comes to Gears of War 6, maybe what would end up happening is Gears 6 might be far enough to at least give us some kind of hint on what's going on with that franchise. But I don't know if they're ready to show it. I think they're going to want to give it a little bit more time. And plus, we got a lot of other stuff that's going on here. So I don't think there's really reason to rush that. Besides Starfield, Xbox is probably going to carry this particular showcase. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff going into that. Double Fine. I think Double Fine will be here in some way, shape, or form. They're very small. They have a decent amount of people work for them, and they're very agile. They can get out games pretty consistently. I don't think their games are going to come out this year, but I do think you might see something for them next year. The Initiative, not going to be here. Absolutely not. I think the Initiative has had a lot of turmoil, and they had a lot of, people leaving and coming in. They had a lot of real key positions leave. So I'm very interested to see if they would if it's realistic to think that the Initiative will be in this. Exile Entertainment. I don't know why I think they're going to be here. Wastelands. It's been a minute since Wasteland 3 came out. They did do expansions, but you guys know how it is. For the most part, expansions are made by a smaller team. They're not made by the whole team. So I would say that there's a chance you see Exile Entertainment on this studio. Mojang Studio. Probably. I hope not. I feel like every year I'll be saying Minecraft don't be here. Minecraft don't be there. But it's a $1 billion franchise, and Microsoft has spent a lot of money on Minecraft. So if it's there, it doesn't bother me. If it is there, cool. It doesn't bother me. But I do think there is a chance it is there. Ninja Theory. absolutely Hellblade 2 shows up here. And I think Hellblade 2 is going to be one of the pillars of this entire showcase. Hellblade never really appealed to me, but it was one of those AA games that you can really see being a AAA product. And I think that's with Microsoft behind Hellblade, it's really going to show this game was made mainly under Microsoft. This game was made to show us what Microsoft can do by, giving these people money, giving these people talent. It's going to be one of those key components to showing you a ninja theory after Microsoft has bought them. Just like I think Starfield is, showing what Microsoft is going to handle and how, it's going to affect Starfield because they're owned by Microsoft. Microsoft's a very wealthy company. They got a lot of talent. And when you get purchased by a company like that, people are automatically going to assume the product's going to get better. Now, maybe not Starfield to a point because a lot of Starfield was already under development before they bought them, but you can definitely see it with like an Elder Scrolls 6, Ninja Theory 2, Hellblade 2, and then, getting to Obsidian, Avowed. Avowed's definitely going to be here. I'm just kind of curious between Hellblade 2 and Avowed how big one game is going to be over the other. I'm curious on that. The Outer Worlds 2 showed what kind of product that Obsidian can make because it was a very loved product. I think a loved game. It got like a 88 or 87 on Metacritic. So it did very well. For the most part, Obsidian games score well. They don't score low. So I think we can assume that Avowed, for the most part, being made under Microsoft, once again, like Hellblade, it's going to show exactly what Microsoft can contribute to Obsidian to get them to make better games. Playground Games. Fable, man. Fable's going to be there. I think we can all agree on that at this point. Xbox kind of like showed a teaser with kind of glitter going everywhere, and I don't think it's legit glitter like what they're representing. I think it's fairy dust or something like that. I actually made a joke saying that it would be funny if this was like a glitter controller. I'd be very upset because you can't go out there and do stuff like that and see people assuming it's Fable, because there's a lot of people that's assuming it's Fable and get mad when people get upset over that. It's not realistic. Rare. I don't think Sea of Thieves is going to be at the main show, but I do think there's a good chance Sea of Thieves shows at the extended show. Sea of Thieves has been a phenomenon to me. I didn't think the game would do exactly what it's doing, but we could see that Rare really turned that brand around and has made it popular to a lot of degrees. And it's cool for them because, I myself, I don't really care about Sea of Thieves like that. I think it's a fun game to play with friends, but I don't think it's like the funnest game in the world to play. And the fact that Rare was able to captivate and get people to give that game another try and was able to put compelling content in there to keep people in there is extremely impressive. It's extremely impressive. Undead Labs, no. Even though it's been like 4 years or 3 to 4 years since State of Decay 2 came out, I don't think Undead Labs is ready to be shown. I might be wrong on that. The good thing about this show, this particular showcase, is I feel like any of these studios can be here. And that's because the majority of them have been working on games for years. Like Compulsion Games, that's another studio we're talking about. They've been working on since We Happy Few. It's been a minute, man, like 3-4 years. Arguably going into 5. I could see them there. I can see World's Edge here to a degree. We don't know what they're working on behind closed doors. Exile Entertainment, I could see here to a degree. Ninja Theory working on 3 projects. Obsidian working on 3 projects too. Playground Games is also working on a couple projects. But I think for the most part, we know what's going to be here. But the thing is any of these studios could throw a loop by any means. Now, because of the Bethesda studios, I don't think we're going to see Starfield here. We better not see Starfield. I don't think we're going to see Tango Games or Alpha Dog. We might see ZeniMax Online because it's been rumored that they've been working on an IP, like a popular IP. So we might see that here. ID, we might see a Quake, but I doubt it. And, Machine Games, I think Indiana Jones is probably going to be here. It's been a few years since that, too. Arcane, it's been a couple years since Deathloop, but I don't know if it's enough time for them to realistically show up here. Now, I understand Arcane, the second studio made Redfall, and, there's a video there I can probably make tomorrow. But I think the main studio is definitely able to come out maybe next year. But probably not this year, but maybe next year. So let's talk about format. All right. You guys know I'm very big on a game opening, closing on stuff. I feel like that right there, how you open up your show tells me all that you need to tell me about your show. For instance, the PlayStation Showcase we just had, they opened up with a brand new IP and they closed with Spider-Man. And to me, Spider-Man was already announced. So if they had like a really good showing or they had something really good to end with, Spider-Man would have been the game that they opened with. But they opened with Haven. To me, Haven would have been a better game to close with, but they wanted to show you that gameplay from Spider-Man, so it would make more sense to end with Spider-Man. Now, as far as this, there's a couple ways that they can do this, and I'm very curious to see what they do. Me, personally, I think they should open up with Fable, and they should close it with a brand new IP. Or maybe you open up with Hellblade 2 and close it with Fable gameplay. There's a lot of different scenarios they can do with this. And the reason that this particular showcase is so interesting is because there's so much stuff. They can open up with Avowed. They could close with Avowed. They can open up with Fable or close with Fable. If Hellblade 2's gameplay is impressive enough, they can close with that. And I think that is the most single exciting thing about this showcase. Is the fact that most of the time I can kind of like give some form of anticipation on what's going to be here and what's not going to be here. I really couldn't tell you guys even a little bit what's going to open and close with this. I do know some of the games that's going to be there, but it's like I said, any of these games have been working on games long enough to where any of them could be here. Now, as far as like third-party stuff, I do think Microsoft needs to improve their marketing. Maybe they'll get some of these newer IPs to these newer studios that are making games. I don't want a huge indie presence here. And I don't mind an indie presence, but a huge indie presence. And the indies that they do choose to come on the stage, it's got to be a high quality. This type of showcase, mainly hardcore audiences are going to watch it. So you got to really captivate that hardcore audience because, regardless what people say, a lot of my casual friends come to me for advice. Yo, what's this game? Is this game hot? Should I buy this game? And when you win us over, you win them over as well. To me, when it comes to second party, I really want more Japanese focused games. I think they need one. One should be here. Maybe it's going to be Persona 3. Would be really nice if they announced a Persona 3 multiplat followed by a Persona 6 exclusive. I doubt that's going to happen. Highly doubt it. But it would be very interesting to see how everyone reacts to if they're able to secure Persona 6. It wasn't at the PlayStation showcase, and it's rumored to be coming out next year. So unless PlayStation's doing another showcase this year, maybe Microsoft at least has the marketing to it. Just coming out there announcing Persona 6 and saying it's coming to Game Pass day and date. Hell, we'll even throw the Game Pass thing out. Just the game coming out to the platform with PlayStation day and date would be big. But I do think Microsoft, because they've fallen behind so much when it comes to the Japanese, games, they need to go ahead and back that truck up and get that Game Pass. Especially you losing whole franchises like Final Fantasy. The games that you can make up for. But my mic to drop moment would probably be Persona 6 exclusive. I think that's particularly the one that I would want. Now, I do think Fable is going to show gameplay, and I think that's going to be important. But they might just get away with a CGI showing like where they are in the story, what era they are in Fable. Maybe show the antagonists because people like the bad guys in Fable. So there's a lot of different opportunities that Microsoft can go through this. PlayStation really dropped the ball with their showcase. I don't know if it was they just didn't have nothing to show, or they had these obligations from marketing rights that they had to show them on a showcase. So they just put them all together, named it a showcase to get as many people to watch it as possible so they can go to these parties with actual, numbers. I don't know. But all I know is they really dropped the ball when it comes to just the hardcore audience in general. People don't want to see that. People want to see the games that PlayStation makes. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think. I know this is a long video coming up on damn near 16 minutes. I had a lot to say. I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of editing on this. I got a lot of stuff going on. But I'll try. But, put in the comment section below what you guys think. I'm very curious to hear you guys' opinion. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.